This is the second battle between the Prussian prince of the Agony clan and Llewelin of the Agartha clan. The battle is on Armavir once again. The Prussian prince is commanding Tylis and Llewelin is commanding Galatia. On paper, Tylis is a lot stronger than Galatia. But the Prussian prince is starting slightly downhill from the Galatian army of Llewelin. He has 3 raiding horsemen. He has a mix of Celtic warriors, Gallo-Thracian infantry and tribal warriors. His general is a noble horse. He has 2 units of levy freemen and a very heavy infantry spam from the Prussian prince. Completely opposite to what we saw in the first battle, where he brought no infantry, while Llewelin brought a very safe Galatia build. He has 2 mercenary Cappadocians. His general is a noble horse, 2 levy freemen, 6 Galatian legionaries and 6 Galatian swords. The infantry advantage goes decisively to the Prussian prince, but the advantages of terrain are not to be underestimated. Also, lacking good cavalry, he has his general, but he lacks good mid-tier cavalry like the mercenary Cappadocian cavalry. It's going to be very hard for the Prussian prince to choose his engagements the way he needs to. There are also 2 mercenary Syrian archers on the field for Galatia, and although firing at tribal warriors isn't the most effective way to use them, doing hit point damage to these tribal warriors early on for free is going to be very important for when the melee engagement starts. Because these tribal warriors taking even a few volleys means that the Galatian legionaries are going to be able to defeat them much more easily. Llewelin is using his levy freemen very smartly here to shield himself from the raiding horsemen, so they aren't able to get into his flanks. The mercenary Syrian archers are firing, and they are pushing the Prussian prince further down the slope here. He doesn't have a response to this happening, and them getting off a lot of free volleys like this is going to be very bad for when the main engagement starts. Even though they're firing at units that have 95 armor and good shields, they are still doing damage now. And here we have raiding horse getting smashed in the side by levy freeman. Bit of miss micro there from the Prussian prince. He probably wanted to go for the mercenary Syrian archers, but he got too close to the levy freemen and they got off a few volleys. It looks like he is just not able to catch the Syrian archers, and the javelins incoming from the infantry is going to do a lot of damage to the raiding horse. They did manage to get some volleys off on the Syrian archers, but not enough to really kill any archers. So the Prussian prince is in a very dangerous situation here, because Llewelin has the terrain advantage. The Prussian prince can't just charge straight in here. He will be at a disadvantage. The cavalry of Llewelin is going to be able to smash into the infantry line of the Prussian prince, and the follow-up from the infantry of Galatia is going to be devastating, even against tribal warriors and Gallo-Thracians. Now, something that I think was a bit weird was that the Prussian prince didn't bring Oathsworn in this battle, because Galatia has no elite swords. Oathsworn would be able to stomp all over Galatian legionaries and would be able to stomp all over Galatian swords. Here we have the mercenary Syrian archers starting to fire. Let's see if they are using... They are now using heavy shots, so they're going to be able to do a lot of damage to these tribal warriors. Being chased away by raiding horse, but the raiding horse needs to be careful, because they are moving dangerously close to the Galatian swords. And here we have it, a massive amount of javelins incoming and wrecking the raiding horsemen. And at this point, the Prussian prince has wasted his raiding horsemen. The Syrian archers who were attacked in the rear, they are going to be able to make it to the safety of their own lines, while the raiding horse took so many casualties from the precursor javelins of Galatia. The engagement starts here, and Llewelin is just very smartly going to pull away, go for a charge on the tribal warriors. Very nicely done. Stop the tribal warriors from getting a charge, turn around, counter-charge with his Galatian swords, pull these swords out to go for flanking. And when the follow-up comes now from the Galatian legionaries, these Galatian legionaries are going to win against the tribal warriors because they have taken a lot of damage. And these Galatian legionaries are going to win against these units because they did manage to get a charge because of the very nice frontal charge by the Cappadocian cavalry of Galatia. Nicely done there by Llewelin. Pulling out the Galatian swords will enable them to get a charge on stationary tribal warriors. Another unit of Cappadocians coming in to smash the tribal warriors. The follow-up from Galatian swords is going to be devastating, and Llewelin is showing a masterclass here in how to engage when you are outmatched in terms of infantry. The raiding horse is trying to push through and get at the Syrian archers, but the gap wasn't big enough, so they're going to get stopped. And the cavalry, the noble horse of Llewelin, is going to move up, and already there are tribal warriors wavering, and that was due to them being fired upon earlier by the Syrian archers. So the Galatian legionaries are going to be able to destroy these tribal warriors almost for free. A unit of raiding horse got in, but they were stopped by mercenary Cappadocian cavalry and noble horse. Another unit coming in, but it's going to be destroyed as well. So now there is no cavalry on the field for the Prussian prince, and an infantry spam that is out of... well, he has his general still, but an infantry spam that doesn't have cavalry support is going to die very, very easily. Levy freemen chasing after some other levy freemen, getting charged by the noble horse general of the Prussian prince. The follow-up with Gallo-Thracians is going to absolutely destroy the levy freemen. But on the flanks, Galatia is going to be able to move in, start surrounding the Celtic warriors and the tribal warriors in the center. Very nicely done by Llewelin. And I don't know anyone that plays barbarian sword rushes as well as Llewelin, because he understands how to use very few cavalry units to devastating effect. So in this battle he was decisively outmatched in terms of infantry, but just the way that he used his two skirmishers and the way that he uses his cavalry is going to be able to negate the advantage that the Prussian prince has. This is looking very bad for Tylis. The noble horse of the Prussian prince doesn't really know where to go now. He doesn't have any good angles of attack. There are units closing in all around him. And here we have the noble horse general of Llewelin charging out through his own lines, getting a nice charge on the noble horse of the Prussian prince. When this main engagement in the center is won, we're going to have Galatian legionaries pour in, and there it happens. The Galatian legionaries are pouring in and are going to go for the noble horse of the Prussian prince. And when he pulls out, he's going to lose a lot of noble horse to the fire from the Syrian archers and from these other units. So another unit of levy freemen coming in, throwing javelins at the noble horse. The noble horse of the Prussian prince is wasted. His infantry is losing all across the battlefield. And Llewelin is very close to winning this battle. More javelins incoming against the noble horse. And I think this playstyle is a bit unfamiliar to the Prussian prince. It is what you usually see from Llewelin against sword spams. In the first battle, the Prussian prince brought no infantry and was able to defeat Llewelin fairly decisively. But in this infantry slugfest, Llewelin just has the better micro and the better strategies, a better understanding of how to get the most out of his sword units, I think. Also, losing the raiding horse early was massive for the Prussian prince. He did have some Oathsworn, but they aren't really supported, and they're getting fired upon by Syrian archers. The 4 noble horse remaining tried to go for the mercenary Syrian archers, but the general is just about to die here. And when the general dies, these tribal warriors are going to pack up and go home. The ones that are left alive anyway. So the Prussian prince concedes defeat, devastating defeat at that. Very nicely done by Llewelin. He was able to use his Galatian legionaries to great effect against the superior sword line of Tylis. And you can see how ineffective the Oathsworn were and how ineffective the tribal warriors were compared to the Galatian legionaries. So if you're wondering how to counter superior infantry forces that are light on cavalry, this is how you do it. Strength and honor.